Wow, 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 wow. Currently 38-19 in the fourth quarter. Georgia just got a fourth down stop. I'm starting this one a little bit early, but I'll just wait a couple more seconds here before we get into it. Man, what a way to end the first half, though, for Georgia. I don't know. We'll get into all of that. Not a good look for clock management. Definitely upsetting that happened with Georgia, but hey. Yeah, game almost over. Got 9 minutes left. Georgia has the ball after a 4th-and-1 stop at around the goal line. So let me get into the stats here. We'll get into that a little bit later. But, yeah, Georgia currently up 38-19. First quarter. Georgia goes down, scores a touchdown the first possession, then stalls for 2 drives, gets the ball back, goes down, kicks a field goal. Kind of a lucky call, I think. Maybe that was on the intentional grounding. Or maybe that was on the next drive. Anyway, we got 2 lucky calls go our way. We go down, score a touchdown, make it 17-3. They ruled that Stetson Bennett was still in the tackle, or was not in the tackle box when he threw the ball away. In my opinion, he was in the tackle box. That honestly should have been a call for Mississippi State. And then the fumble, they ruled that forward progress was stopped. Again, in my opinion, that should have been a fumble. So anyway, but go up 17-3. Mississippi State goes down, kicks a field goal after a big gain. And then Georgia gets the ball back at the 20-yard line, all 3 timeouts. I like the first play, throw it out route, I think, to the running back. Or maybe it was to Ladd McConkey, who's, by the way, having a really good game. But no, Georgia goes down, stalls, punts it with 17, 18 seconds left, whatever. And Mississippi State takes it to the house. Terrible clock management skills by Georgia and Kirby Smart and Todd Monken and Stetson Bennett. 2 brutal plays in a row gives Mississippi State a chance to get the ball back, and they are one of the best return teams in the nation. In fact, I think they're number 1. And, of course, they go down and score a touchdown, make it 17-12. Honestly, it really should not have been that close. And, in fact, this game should not have been this close right now. I know we're up by 19. Third quarter, completely dominated by Georgia. Fourth quarter as well. Second half, Georgia's been playing really well. We'll talk about Stetson Bennett's turnovers. Really just good play by the defensive line on both of them. Mississippi State gets pressure. Kendall Milton up for a couple yards. Mississippi State gets pressure on Stetson Bennett, hits them both times, and their defense plays really well on the ball, gets 2 interceptions. Stetson Bennett has had some tough throws today. Honestly, hasn't looked the best. And Georgia's rush game has been atrocious. Other than the Ladd McConkey touchdown, Georgia has nothing to show for it rushing the football. I mean, Kenny McIntosh is averaging 3.2 yards carry. Stetson Bennett, 2.3. Dewan Edwards, 2 yards per carry. Kendall Milton, 1.5 yards per carry. And Branson Robinson, -1 yards per carry so far. That's just terrible. Now, passing game, like I said, Ladd McConkey's having a really good game. He's combined for 6 touches. Yeah, 6 touches for 141 yards and 2 touchdowns. It's great. Kyrus Jackson had that long catch in the third quarter. Brock Bowers had a touchdown. So, yeah, doing really well. And then our defense, holding them to around 220 yards. This team, top 15 or top 10 in passing yards per game. not known as a rush team. I mean, they only have 12 carries today. They come in averaging 23 carries per game. I mean, that's not good. And Georgia just running the ball up the middle. We cannot run the ball to save our life today. Runs the ball up the middle on 3rd down and 4, gets nothing. So Georgia will be punting it back to Mississippi State under 8 minutes. But anyway, right now it's 38-19. If the score stands, that would cover the 16 points. If you did place a bet on this game, which I don't know too many people that did, I kind of expected this to be somewhat of a challenge for Georgia. But to be honest with you, we've really dominated this game from start to more than likely finish, barring a miracle by Mississippi State or a complete collapse by Georgia. But these turnovers, giving Mississippi State another possession. One turnover cost Georgia 7. The other one cost them 0. Got a 3 and out. And then terrible clock management cost Georgia 6 points. Really, I mean, this defense has played really, really well today. I mean, Mississippi State likes to rush. Yeah. They like to run these short passing schemes. And that's why Will Rogers is averaging 4 yards per pass, which, believe it or not, Mississippi State also comes in. I know they pass it a lot, so this is probably why the data is a little bit skewed, but they also are bottom half in the nation in passing attempts, which I think they only average like 6 yards per pass, which is actually in the hundreds. Again, that's not really an important stat, at least in my opinion. When you run the air raid, your scheme is based around short to medium passing anyway. But especially with these out routes, crossing patterns, even swing routes to your running backs and slot wide receivers. Georgia did give up one big gain. The other one was a 24-yard pass. That's really it. Like I said, most of our points were generated off of mistakes, really, with time management and a terrible throw, which got batted down into the defender's lap, and he picked it off. Honestly, that was a pretty good play. I'm not even gonna lie, but I don't even know who it was for Mississippi State. That's a defensive end that made that play. Georgia's offensive line hasn't been playing up to par today. Let's just keep it real. Georgia's offensive line is one of the best in the country, playing a very, very, very good defensive line, a very good defensive team, really, with Mississippi State. Mississippi State runs at 3-3-5. If you've been watching me for a while, you know how much I dislike the 3-3-5 base scheme. I think I just don't like it as much. But Mississippi State has a strong front three. I'm not even going to lie. They have a strong front three. Couple decent linebackers, but their DBs are really, really good. Forbes is really good. A couple other guys on the outside. But Mississippi State, their DBs are really, really good. Definitely top 4 or even 5 in the SEC in that defensive backcourt. Total yards, if you need some stats. Total yards right now, Georgia's doubling Mississippi State, which is ironic because we are doubling the point score as well. We have more passing yards as well against an air raid team. Hey, obviously more rushing yards, but the rushing has not been impressive today. Losing the turnover battle and controlling the clock for most of this game. There's another dump ball for you. I just hope Georgia holds Mississippi State under 20. I would like one more score, not to be greedy. Georgia came in this year number 3 in the nation. I think its scoring margin around 29. I think it's 28-29 is the scoring margin for UGA. Behind Michigan, who's number 1 in the nation, actually, and Ohio State. Georgia's strength of schedule is a little bit stronger than theirs. But still, that's just another stat if you didn't know about. Another thing, LSU won today. and Alabama won, which means LSU will be heading to Atlanta to more than likely play us. Like I said, now they're going to call something on Georgia. I think a face mask. Oh, my goodness. So Mississippi State's driving down the field now, under 7 minutes left. They're probably going to take up the rest of this clock, to be honest with you. Georgia, and with the air raid, you have to be very disciplined, which coming into the season is kind of why I had Georgia losing this game in preseason on the off season. Not now. I had Georgia winning this one. I think I predicted 38-17. I'm pretty close, to be honest with you. Another dump off, loss of 3. But yeah, I just thought, Georgia's defense very, very, very young coming in. This is my thinking in the preseason, because a lot of people jumped on me for having Georgia losing this game in the preseason. Again, it's preseason, so. But yeah, you have to be very disciplined, and especially with your corners and your slot corners against a air raid offense. Your star, Tyke Smith, is in right now. But Tyke Smith, Bullard, who else do we put in slot? Christopher Smith plays everywhere, and Christopher Smith is probably the most underrated player on our defense. He's going to be drafted. I hope he's drafted higher than where he's listed, honestly, by the way. But anyway, what else? What was I saying? But yeah, the discipline, you have to be very disciplined. And we have a lot of younger corners this year. But all of them have pretty much stepped up, like Meeks, man. He's stepped up really well. Lassiter as well. And I'm very surprised that the West Virginia transfer, Tyke Smith, is basically second string. That was a little bit of a surprise to me. But that shows you how good Georgia's defensive backs are, and how much the coaching is really affecting them in a great way. Chaz Chambers, he jumped all the way up to second string. Now, Nolan Smith is injured for the rest of the year, which is a huge loss. But still, Chaz Chambers is now second string, and now he's getting valuable playing time, and he's playing pretty solid. Came in as what? I think a 3-star recruit. I don't think he was a I don't think he. I surely don't think he was a walk-on. Was he? I don't think he was. But Georgia gets another stop. Let's go. Mississippi State loves going for it on 4th down. This is another downfall for Mike Leach. Play calling is one thing. I like his play calling, but his decision making in some of the bigger games really affects him. And this team played Bama really hard. Their defense gave up like 27 points, I think. After going 3 for 7 on 4th downs and giving the ball back to Bama inside the 50 like 3 times. If you do that against Alabama, you're giving up points. I mean, you do that against anybody. But another point I like to make out, Georgia losing the turnover battle yet again, and they're going to win this game by multiple scores. So I'm trying to look up a stat. I don't remember the last national championship team, or heck, I don't even remember the last team to be winning by 27, 28 points. That's Georgia average per game. But to win like that, to be undefeated and consistently win like that, I cannot name a team that has done that in the past. Which shows you how good Georgia really is. Imagine if Georgia was winning the turnover battle. Georgia came into this game like -3, -4 in the turnover margin. Add another 2 to it, and we're still winning games by a lot. Will this come back to hurt Georgia? I think it will. We play Kentucky next week. I don't know I don't know. By the way, before I move on with what I'm saying, I don't know what happened with Kentucky. They are a very inconsistent team. I'll say that, to say the least of it. But losing to Vandy, losing to South Carolina, both at home. Those are head-scratching losses. Those losses make zero sense. You know, Kentucky's clearly a better team than Vanderbilt. They're clearly a better team than South Carolina, yet they still lose these games. You have to wonder what's going on at Kentucky right now. It's really with the play calling. Kentucky's going to finish the year with at least 5 losses, and this was supposed to be a really good season for Kentucky. They beat Florida too. They beat Florida, and they're going to find a way to what an interception by Texas A&M. Holy crap. But I got 2 games on, by the way, if you didn't know that. But they're going to find a way to go 6-6, 7-5 while beating Florida on the road in a night game. Again, it's mind-boggling with what happened to Kentucky this year. They're a really good team, or they were supposed to be a really good team. Even with the Tennessee game, that felt off. Kentucky lost by 38 points. Yeah, I do understand that. Tennessee always has Kentucky's number, it seems. But wow, 44-6 was that final. We get to play at Kentucky. It's going to be senior day, I believe, for Kentucky. If I'm mistaken, I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure it is. But Kentucky took a terrible loss. You can't even look ahead. Like, I'm sorry, you can't blame looking ahead to Georgia. I get it. But you can't blame that for a loss. You could look ahead. Like, I don't want to hate on Vanderbilt, but you can look ahead against Vanderbilt and still end up winning the game by a couple scores. So, again, I'm not hating on Vandy, but and I love how Vandy got a win today. Shout out to Vandy. If there's any Vandy fans watching this video, shout out to you. Congratulations on that huge win today. Ended a 26-game winning streak. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. Back to what I was saying. I got off a tangent there. I don't know a team like that has done what Georgia has done. Lose the turnover battle by 5-6 turnovers now, and somehow winning games by 30 points. After this game, well, it really depends. If Georgia goes down the scores here, gets a hold. Nah, they're not going to score. This game's pretty much over. Georgia's going to run the clock out. So it doesn't really matter. So it is probably going to be 38-19. Could not run the football today. None of our running backs had over 4 yards per carry. It's just a very disappointing day by the offensive line, to say the least. Still going to win the game by a couple possessions. Lack of awareness, I will say, towards the end of the second half, which caused Georgia 6 points, and then 2 really good plays by Mississippi State's defensive line hit Stetson Bennett, forces him to throw a terrible pass, which, oh, by the way, I didn't say this. Ladd McConkey was streaking wide open. Still couldn't find him. First down, Georgia. Run that clock. We're going to get out of here with the win. Hard-fought victory. Win by 19 on the road at Starkville. Like I said, Mississippi State's a pretty good team. They're going to have a tough slate if they want to win out. They play Ole Miss and some team next week. I don't know. But Georgia fans, congratulations. We're heading back to Atlanta. Kind of figured that after the Tennessee game. But, hey, it feels good to know now, I guess. Well, I'm not going to jinx anything. Hopefully, second year in a row being 12-0. This year, hopefully, it'll be a different ending than what happened with last year's SEC title game. LSU, if you want me to talk about LSU, I think they're a good team. Actually, I think they're a great team. Had a fluke loss to Florida State. Turned it around after the Tennessee game, which they got absolutely humiliated. 40-13 at home, a noon game. A lot of LSU fans were absolutely just keep it real with you. They were pissed off that they had a noon Eastern game, which is 11 a.m. in Baton Rouge. A lot of LSU fans were upset. They wanted the night slate. Texas A&M Bama got it instead. Kendall Milton's going to walk in for a touchdown. So take it back. what I said 3 minutes ago, where Georgia didn't have a running back rush over 4 yards per carry. Now I got to fix the score. Give me 1 second. It's not that it matters as much, but hey. Give me 1 sec. Sweet. So we're definitely covering, if anybody cared about that. Oh, no, not that. No one cares about that. Clemson's not top 6. That was old. But anyway, LSU's a really good team. They're a great team. Problem is with LSU, they're a rush-heavy base team. And what has been Georgia's number one strength over the past 4 or 5 years? Rush defense. The scheme for Brian Kelly is not matching up well. It will not match up well against Georgia. I still think it's going to be a good game because LSU does have a pretty good defense. But their offense, Jaden Daniels is going to get yards, though, through the ground. I will say that. But they're going to have to open up the passing game more. And I watched them today. They played pretty bad offensively. Their O-line is not that good. LSU's offensive line really hasn't been good since Les Miles. Let's keep it real here. Even that national title team, and by the way, I know this doesn't really matter, but how did that team win offensive line of the year? But anyway, Jaden Daniels, 86 yards passing and an interception today. They're a rush-based team. I mean, they ran it 51. They ran it 51 times against Arkansas. Yeah, they got 198 yards, but that's only 3.8 yards per carry. So they're going to have to play really, really, really stout offensively, and it comes down to, can Jaden Daniels beat UGA through the air? Because I doubt anybody's going to be any LSU offensive player is going to be doing anything through the ground. Georgia hasn't really been rushed on since, 2018 LSU? 2019 LSU? Clyde El-Hayr had over 100 yards, I'm pretty sure, in the SEC title game. But I'm pretty confident. This was a long time ago, 2018, right? Well, not very long time ago, but it's been a while. I'm pretty sure LSU rushed for 200 yards, and I'm pretty sure LSU's the last team to reach over 200 yards against Georgia. But yeah, that's how good Georgia's. We have been consistently good rush defense-wise. And we're top 3 in the nation in rush defense. We're going to be playing the top 4, top 5, 6, 7, whatever, 8 rush offense in the nation at the time. Still a couple games left. Williams for LSU has been playing really, really well. John Emery hasn't, he's not what a lot of us thought he'd be. I really thought out of high school, John Emery would be one of the best LSU running backs of all time. That was a terrible take. I will agree with that. You can make fun of me for that take. But you got to watch his film in high school. I mean, he was dirty coming out. Clearly a 5-star recruit, but I really thought he was going to be one of the best LSU running backs. He has a frame of it too. Anyway, but back to the game in Atlanta. It's going to be a good game, I think. Well, we'll see. Well, maybe not. If LSU can run the ball, then yeah, it's going to be a really good game. And Georgia could very well lose the game. Brian Kelly is going to have to draw up something more out of his comfort zone. Because, like I said, you just can't line up and run the ball in UGA. I will bet you this. I bet you Jaden Daniels will lead LSU in rushing yards in this game. That's not really a hot take, but yeah, that's my take for this game. He's going to have to extend the game. I expect him to be able to run the football quite a bit, but Georgia's going to get pressure. That offensive line is terrible. I mean, it's absolutely terrible for LSU. And Brian Kelly is building something special for LSU. LSU could very well take over the SEC West in the next coming of years with how things are going right now. It all depends Well, no, I mean, it doesn't really all depend on anything right now, but if Brian Kelly can be consistent, and he's one of the most consistent coaches in the nation. So, Georgia, this game is one more play away, a 3rd down and 6. See if we can get another stop here. That'd be nice to pad the defensive stats. Going over wide open. 1st down. Oh, no, and then some inside the 40-yard line with 9 seconds left. Mississippi State's going to hurry it up. Oh, goodness. Are we actually doing this, Mike Leach? Please don't call a timeout. Here we go. 1st down and 10. 5, 4, 3. They snap it and spike it. There's no time left. Is that it? I think there was time remaining. You guys let me know. I don't know. I really don't know. They say it's final. It doesn't matter. I mean, who cares? The only thing that matters is stats. I'm pretty sure there's going to be 1 second left. So, anyway, Georgia wins this game very convincingly by 26 points. Ohio State won today. Let's talk about some other teams if you want. Ohio State won. What was the final? What the heck was that? My ADHD, I guess, is showing. Auburn running back Hunter threw the ball forward and fumbled. Anyway, whatever. And a lateral. We're doing this. They're doing a hook and ladder play inside the 20 to the 15. Game over. Oh my goodness, Mississippi. That's Mike Leach for you. I love Mike Leach. Did anyone hear his halftime report where he told, what was it? Why do I always think her name's Jenny Taft? Whatever the reporter's name is. He basically told her to get away. Guy's a menace. I love Mike Leach. Clinched the SEC East. So, hey. Woo. I kind of figured that after the Tennessee game. I told you a lot last week what I expected for the upcoming games. Complete domination. And hopefully get out of every game like we did today with 0 to no injuries, okay? 0 injuries. Again, Georgia dominated this game. I'll give you my last couple closing points, I guess. It wasn't pretty, to say the least. But, hey, a win's a win, and especially a 26-point win on the road. Remember Kirby Smart used to be winless. Remember that time period where Kirby Smart was winless on the road against SEC West teams? Yeah, that's over with now. Thank gosh. Because 2016 went on the road, lost to Ole Miss by 31. 2017 went on the road, lost to Auburn by 23. Basically was. 2018 lost on the road to LSU by 20 points. Then from 2019 on, we haven't lost on the road to the SEC West since Alabama, right? Yeah, Bama. That was during COVID. That was one of the best Bama teams I think I've ever seen. So now, what else is there to talk about? Oregon's on right now in a very good dogfight against Washington. Washington's one of those surprising teams this year. Always short. Washington's going to get the ball back with time. That's the most impressive win in college football, what Georgia did against Oregon. And I told people Oregon was a really, 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 really good team. Oregon's going for it on 4th and 1 at their own 35. Oh my gosh, and they don't get it. What is Dan Lanning doing? Well, there goes one of Georgia's top 10 wins. Why is Ty Thompson in the game? What happened to Bo Nix? I was watching the Georgia game. I'm sorry. But, Oregon, what are you doing? What is Dan Lanning doing? See, that's a first-year head coach mistake. You have a lot's on the line. Everything's on the line. Your whole season, your playoff. You could, if you win out, you're making the playoff, sir. And you have one loss, and it's not even in conference. It's to the best team in the country, which Georgia is the best team in the country. So now Michael Penix has a minute 26 seconds to only get a field goal to win the game, and they're gonna score a touchdown. Wow. Dan Lanning, what was that? That was the worst thing. That was the worst call I think I've seen my entire life. And I've seen some terrible play calls. That was probably the worst. Because that just cost you the game. Sorry that I'm watching another game, guys. That's sad. What just happened was incredibly sad. And if I'm an Oregon fan right now, I'm furious with that call. Dan Lanning, my gosh. Anyway, like I said, last closing points. Georgia dominated this game. So the score I thought was a little bit closer than how the game went. Did Georgia get over 500 yards? Yeah, of course they did. Georgia definitely did, right? Right? Am I wrong? Please tell me I'm right. I like being right. Georgia came in, I think, number 3 in the nation in total offense. It's what Georgia does. All right, so Oregon does get the stop. So now it's going to come down to a field goal. So we'll see. 54 seconds left. Georgia has, dang it, I'm wrong. 468 yards for the day. That's it. But yeah, guys, another big win today. Congratulations, Georgia fans. SEC East champs for the second year in a row. That is now, 5 of the last 6? 2017, 18, 19, 21, 22. 5 of the last 6. How about that? 5 of the last 6 SEC East. Jeez. Oh, SEC East champs. Now, the last 4, we've only won the SEC once. If we do win out, which is more than likely, yeah, we're a lot to make the playoffs, even if we lose to LSU. But I don't like that mindset. I want to go 15-0. I want to be perfect. I want to have a perfect season. I want to be the first team to win back-to-back national titles since Alabama in 2010, 2011. Or, sorry, 2011, 2012. My bad. My history. My goodness. Oh, talk too much. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much it for today. Kind of cutting it short for tonight. Washington makes the field goal. Damn. Bo Nix is hurt or something. I don't know why Ty Thompson's in the game. So if you're not watching any football, turn it to Fox and watch a pretty good game. Anyway, I'll see you guys next week. We play at Kentucky. Should be interesting, I guess. Georgia's clearly a better team than Kentucky. Georgia will win. I think Georgia will win by 20 points, around that. Kentucky had a devastating loss today, another one. Will Levis played terrible. Kentucky's offensive line played terrible in the first half, pretty much all game. Christopher Rodriguez had 1 good carry. Yeah. Devastating loss for Kentucky to end, and Georgia, not to end, to almost end their season. Georgia's going to be there, ready. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game. I think Kentucky's going to hold us to around 27, 30 points, but Georgia's defense will hold Kentucky around 10. Yeah, around 10 points. I'll give Kentucky 10. 30-10. How about that? Georgia's probably going to be a 23.5 point favorite. But anyway, guys, I'll see you guys next week for a very, very, very interesting game. Especially, like I said, with how Kentucky ended today, or played today. All right, guys, I'll see you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Georgia at College Football channel, at the Voice of College Football, and the SEC Football at the Voice of College Football channel. And you know what? While you're at it, go ahead, check out Mark Rogers TV here on YouTube. He's almost at 40,000 subscribers. I think he was at 38.9 last time I checked. So after you're done this, give this video a like and share it if you can. And go ahead and check out Mark Rogers TV and give him a subscription. And check out his Patreon. Just search up Mark Rogers TV. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.